All right, we are live. We're back, and it is week 2. So, back to recap week 1. We'll do that first, but always remember to subscribe to the channel, help us out here, and give us a subscription that is going to not only help us build our subscribers count and get our channel more widely recognized, but also give you a chance to participate in any of these live videos. I love interacting with you guys. There's a chat section here in the comments and chat on the side. Also, feel free if you're a subscriber to comment and interact. If you're not a subscriber, then you can't comment. So make sure you do that. Turn on the little notification bell and get alerted every time we go live, as we are right now. So we're live. It is the middle of the afternoon, and we're about to set up for success. Last week, we talked about cleaning the out of sight, out of mind. If you want to lose weight and you want to gain muscle and you want to try to get in better health, create longevity for yourself, and have a healthier, happier lifestyle with more confidence and start to love what you see in the mirror instead of struggling and hating yourself. So many people work out because they want to punish themselves. So many people starve themselves because they think they overeat or they make poor unhealthy weight choices and food choices. And it's like, listen, these are not the reasons that you should be doing the things like working out and eating healthy, not as a punishment, but you should be doing these because you love your body and you want it to be better. You're trying to treat it like as if it was one of your children and you want to see it nurture and grow and thrive. You got to treat yourself better. This is not even the topic for today, but that is an overall general view of how you need to frame this whole journey for yourself. So we've got a lot of clients who are extremely making major changes in their life. And I want that for each and every one of you who are joining us today, watching live on our YouTube channel. So thank you guys for being here. My name is Coach Lalonde, and I'm up here in Canada working in the colder weather. So climate and everything else considered, we still get out and we do walking and we do things outdoor to try to keep, the body moving. It's the move it or lose it, right? And so we're moving it. And today we're going to move forward in session number 2. So those of you who have your notepads, your journals, let's get you ready. Get your notepads. And I'm going to have my notepad here to read off because I've got some really great notes for you today. In episode 1, if you haven't watched that yet, go back and check it out. We talked about out of sight, out of mind, cleaning your environment in order to succeed because so many people have triggers. If you haven't watched it yet, go back and check that out. The triggers that could be holding you back are all listed in that episode. And it talks about cleaning your environment to help you not be tempted and not fall victim to late night snackings that could be pushing you over in calories or causing weight gain or just setting you up for failure when you're trying so hard to succeed. And so sometimes it's not you, it's the other people in your environment who are affecting those things. So let's give you some time to check, make sure you got your notebooks, and turn to page 2. It's time for session number 2. Free training, free coaching right here. And I'm happy to have you guys with me. So today we're going to be covering the 3 pillars of any successful program. So 3 pillars to success is the title I've given this episode. The 3 things you're going to need to know. So I want you at this point here to realize that it's not about any one particular fad diet. So many people are going to jump on the camp of, hey, keto is the way to go. Carnivore is the way to go. Intermittent fasting is the way to go. Or Atkins diets and Weight Watchers diets. And there's so many of them. Why? Why are there so many of them? Mostly because none of them work and all of them work, but to some degree, right? And so there's such a major caveat there. The fact is they're all one or another form of restriction. And if you start restricting, sure, you're going to lose calories and you're going to create a deficit and you're going to lose weight. So you're going to say, yes, that works for me. For some people, it works to clean up their gut health for temporary result and long-term improvement. And that's great. But that is still not a successful diet if you can't stick to it long-term ongoing. So it's time to start to really think about what is the bigger picture here. There are some quick fixes that are really, really effective in a quick form in a short period. But is that really the answer when you think about the long term? How many people started with one approach and said, I just couldn't stick to it. It was too restrictive. And so I went this way. And they started to chase a completely different diet. Now you're all on board with this. This is the new thing. This works for me. You went from keto to carnivore. You went from Mediterranean to whatever. And so now you're on this other kick. And you're like, this is what's working until it doesn't. Right. And then you got to make another change. Now, during the time you did it, you might have seen weight loss. You might have seen gut health improvements, and you might have seen extra energy and all this other stuff. These are all good things. So we're not here to tell you that these diets are bad. We're here to tell you that they're not sustainable for most people long term. How do I know? I've been doing this for 30 years. I've seen everyone who's come to me to work with me, myself included, go through these attempts and try these things and find that the restriction is just too great. At the end of it all, it's unsustainable. So you've got to really consider what is sustainable for me. So let's talk about the 3 pillars and figure out what is sustainable in these pillars that would work for you, because no magic fad diet is going to solve the problem when it comes to nutrition. Okay. So I wanted to keep that in mind here. You're going to see a lot of supplements and cookie cutter programs out there. People are going to advertise to you. Marketing is better than it's ever been, especially with this whole online world we're living in. Everyone needs your attention. Amongst thousands of things you could click on, we need you to click on our thing right now. And what's going to get you to click? Not really the unsexy truth. It's going to be that really, really big shock value thing that's going to make you click on it, right? So it's going to be like, this one secret exercise to give you a 6-pack, click here. And you're like, yeah, absolutely. I need to find out what that one secret exercise is. Come on, right? It makes you click. There's going to be that one super food that is going to provide you with all the nutrients you need to lose 10 pounds of fat this week. Like, come on, these are outrageous claims, and most often absolutely designed for marketing. And then you click it only to find that the video or the PDF or whatever you get in there was not nearly what the ad or the clickbait had said it was. So please don't fall victim to all the BS that's out there creating a lot of noise. Remember, these people are getting paid for clicks. They're getting marketing and advertising dollars just to have you view their channel. I hope that you're here viewing our channel today for quality information. Maybe one day we will have subscription stuff and we will have advertising dollars and things attached to us, but I hope and I pray that it's always going to be attached for the right reasons. And it's going to be to support you and help you develop in what you're trying to do with your health and your fitness. And it's in perfect alignment with what I teach, what I have found for myself, and what I continue to study so that I can bring you the best and most up-to-date information possible. All that being said, again, making notes and talking about what is going to work, not what is being marketed as going to work, only to find that you're spending thousands of dollars on supplements, thousands of dollars on programs that don't work, poor structuring, and inexperienced individuals who may look good. They may be a model. They may have been hired for the sake of a video to sell you something. And they're not even the person who's actually doing the thing that you're buying. They're not using the product. They're not doing the program. This is just a model they put on the front to make you want to do it. Because if you could look like that by doing it, why wouldn't you buy it? One of the things you're going to find with us is you're always going to see real people getting real results. I pride myself on that, and I pride our entire Precision Elite Training company on that, because I want to speak directly to the real people out there. If you are someone who is real and you're not looking for shortcuts, you're looking to invest in quality, in learning, and then applying the knowledge you've learned, this is where you're going to get the best results. Okay? So sit back, relax, grab your pen, and let's talk about nutrition. I'm going to give you the 3 pillars up front here. Nutrition is going to be the first one. So 3 pillars are the fundamental pillars to success we have to address. Nutrition will be the first one. Training will be the second one. Everybody knows this because they think, well, if I get a good diet, if someone gives me a diet to follow, I get a good training program, I should be all set. What's the third pillar? To most people, that pillar is mindset, which is all the mental associations and the personal self-care and everything else, which is quite a broad spectrum. But you realize that your mind controls your body, the language you use with yourself. There's a lot of factors there in the mindset. But the one I want to put as a specific pillar, if we had all the mindset stuff in check, it really is sleep, rest, and recovery. Rest and recovery go hand in hand with the nutrition and the workout. So when we're talking about a program for success, it's got to be training, it's got to be nutrition, and it's got to be sleep, the rest and the recovery. Okay, so put those 3 things down into your journal, and then let's talk about them a little bit. Awesome. The chat is open. If you're here live, chat with us and subscribe, because remember, you can't chat if you don't subscribe. All right. So It sounds really simple. These are the elements that work. And, there's been a lot of, like I said, marketing and advertising around trying to get people to fall victim to the quick fix. I don't want that for you. You don't want that for you. And I promise you, if you get the quick fix, most often it doesn't last. If it sounds too good to be true, it usually is. Okay. So, what do I need to do? Here's the thing: prioritize your nutrition, your training, and your sleep above everything else. Now, that means you got to fit it into your day. You can't just say, I know I'm supposed to do this. It's not going to work. You can't just know it. You've got to apply it. So, where can you fit nutrition into your day? Well, that's going to be your meal structures and how you plan to eat, not skip eating, actually eat. Right? Also, training. Where are you going to put your training? Are you someone who wants to train in the morning, train in the afternoon, or in the evening? What works best for you? And we'll talk a little bit about those things. Also, remember, in our coaching programs, we go over this individually with each person. We talk to you on an individual basis. We talk to you on a group basis. We make it so that we can dive into your issues. So there's always the ability to get extra coaching to really fine-tune your game plan and improve your performance. But today, you're getting the free stuff here. So write this down. Okay, the concept for nutrition. Summarizing what we're going to cover here, eating single ingredient foods is the first thing I want you to do. They're typically better for you in the first place. They're going to give you energy, fuel your training, and make sure that it is more difficult for you to overeat. Okay, whole foods are very calorie rich. Okay, so nutrient rich, calorie deficient. So which means whole foods, natural foods don't have a lot of calories attached. They have a lot of nutrients attached. Okay, processed foods that have been engineered and designed to make them very, very tasty, but really nutrient deficient, they don't have nutrients for you. They have calories for you. You're not going to get the same amount of nutritional value if it's not whole food, natural food in its most natural state. So how could you possibly figure out what is a whole food, what is a processed food? One of the fastest ways to do it, spin the nutritional label around, take a look at the ingredients. And if you see that there are more than 3 or 4 ingredients in total, it's getting more and more processed. More things have been added to it, maybe for preservative reasons, maybe for palatable, to make it more tasty. And you're going to find all these extra things they add come with extra calories. So turn the label around, look at the ingredients and say, how many ingredients are in this product? For example, turn a carton of eggs around. Look at the ingredients. What is the ingredient? Egg. One item. One pure natural item. There you have it, right? A steak is a steak. A fish is a fish. There's usually not too many things added to it. Maybe some salt if they've packaged it. You'll see sodium there. But again, look at the label, flip it around, and the less there is, if it's 1 or 2 items, you're doing good. It's in its almost whole state. If it's got 15 different things on the ingredient list, your processing has been 15 levels deep, okay? Consider that when you're buying your foods and you're looking at how to get single ingredient food into your diet. Eat for your activity level and your goals. Now, this is important because the amount of food you eat is important. And just because you're eating clean, whole food doesn't mean that you could smash 50 different protein bars a day, right? You've got to make sure that, a protein bar might be a healthier choice than a bag of chips, but you can't just have 50 bars and expect you're going to lose weight, lose fat, or build muscle either. We have to make sure that we're following in alignment with caloric allotment, which means how many calories a day should I actually be consuming, even if it is good, clean, whole food? You're trying to fuel your body, okay? So eating for your activity level and your goals. That means that if your goal is to lose weight, you're probably going to want to have a slight caloric deficit, but also you need to figure out how active are you. If you cut too many calories down, you're not going to have energy to match the activity you're trying to put forth, right? So if you're a very busy, active person burning a lot of calories on a daily basis, walking, working out, doing your job, whatever it is, if you're cutting calories down too much, your body is going to start to realize it's in so much of a deficit. It's now fight or flight, it's starvation, and you're going to set yourself up for failure when it comes to burning fat. So we don't want that for you, okay? So keep this in mind. If your energy levels are high, you need more food, not less food. But you're still going to be in a deficit even with more food. It's going to be hard to overeat if you're eating whole foods, natural whole foods in that one ingredient type list, okay? So if all that's making sense, keep making notes. If it doesn't make sense, ask about it in the chat. You're here and you've got that chat publicly to use. All right. And the last thing is finally listening to your body. When it comes to food, if it doesn't make you feel good, don't eat it. Okay. Some people get massive triggering gut reactions from certain foods. A good example might be raw vegetables. They're good for you, they're whole, right? They're whole food items. But when you eat them in a raw state, sometimes you get a very, very bloated, reaction from your gut. Maybe you need to boil them, steam them, cook them somehow, and then you'll find that they digest better. Try some different things and keep an eye on what your body's telling you. Okay. Anytime you see a reaction from your body, it's your body talking to you. If there's something wrong, you're going to know and you can address what's wrong. So sometimes you need to go get blood work done. Talk to your general practitioner, your doctors, your naturopaths, whoever you can go see and get the blood work. Find out what might be going on. Sometimes there's such a deficiency that even with your best nutrition efforts, you still can't correct it until you know what's really wrong at the root cause. Okay. So that is it for nutrition. As far as the parts we're going to cover there, it's about single ingredient foods. It's eating for your activity levels and knowing how much calories you're actually going to need to consume without going over, but at the same time, create a reasonable and effective deficit. And of course, listen to your body along the way. Food is a journey as well. It's a program of its own. It has periodized reasons for having more calories, less calories, maintenance calories. There's a lot to it. Don't think it's just as simple as I eat healthy and I should lose weight or I should build muscle. There's a lot to knowing what those different nutrients are. And we're going to talk about that over the next 10 free weeks that you're going to get here on our YouTube channel. Okay, the next pillar, training. So if you want your body to change, you have to challenge your body. Okay, you're not going to get to do the same thing you did last time and get a different result. We know that. We've all heard insanity is doing the same thing over again and expecting a different result. You should get the same result when you do the same thing consistently. Now, that's a great thing when you're creating new habits, you're doing the work and you're being consistent and you're teaching your body how to adapt to that. But once you've adapted, if you don't do something different, you're not going to get something different out of it. Does that make sense? Right? So you want to challenge your body. A great way to do this is to actually have a program when it comes to training, a program that challenges you specifically in each phase of the training to up your game, up your level. It doesn't always mean just lift heavier. So many people get caught in this trap and it frustrates me. They think that if I just keep raising the weight, I'm just going to keep getting more results. What happens when you hit the ceiling and you can't lift more weight, or you lift so heavy that you end up getting hurt? Now you've lost all that progress because you are now laid up on the side and you can't train at all. That's the worst thing. Now you believe exercise leads to injury. That's a terrible association. Exercise leads to longevity, to muscle building, to healthy thriving. So why is it that people believe exercise leads to pain? Exercise leads to massive amount of sweating that I don't like. Exercise leads to muscle soreness so bad I can't wash my back or my neck, when I get in the shower. Because people have chased the wrong thing for so long when it comes to training. They don't have a good program. They figure I measure my progress on how sore I am. Or I'm going to continue to just do the same exercise, but I'll just keep raising the weight. Stop doing these things. This is not how you measure progress. Okay. Measuring progress comes from actually having a program with trackable evidence that you're getting stronger using a progressive overload method. And there's beginner level, intermediate level, and advanced level work that can be done to change this and help you make progress. But if you are a beginner and you're grabbing some advanced program from some trainer who's been doing it for a long time, maybe they're not very good at coaching, but they think what I do works for me, so I'll give it to you. You should do it too. And you do it only to find that you don't get results. In fact, you get pushed so fast, you're so sore that you can't even recover. And there's way too much volume in that program. And you end up either hurt, frustrated, or you quit altogether because you can't sustain that amount of volume. It was never meant for you in the first place. It was given to you by someone who should have never had the authority to give that to you. Okay. And that's talking to trainers out there who think they know what they're doing, and they're giving clients who are just getting started the programs that they're designing, that they're doing now for themselves. That's not accurate. That's not going to help anybody. It's going to hurt people more, and it's going to give such a bad reputation to the industry that we love so much. And that's getting you healthy, getting you fit, and making sure that you can lift and enjoy the process. I want you to be able to gamify a workout and enjoy getting stronger and measure your strength through progressive adaptation in a journal of some sort. I don't care if you're old school with a pen and paper or if you're using a fancy app like we have in the Precision Elite training programs. We actually have our own app branded to use so you can track your results. You can put your sets, your reps, your weight. As we have given you the prescription, all you got to do is enter in how many reps you did, how much weight you used today, make any notes that are specific to what you had in your performance, and we can address that through our coaching. If you're not coaching with us, you can still use that app to get your program notes all detailed for you. And then you'll know what you did next time. So you're making progress. That's the key. Progress, progression, right? Okay, so keep that in mind when we're training. You want to make sure that you have a program that is actually progressive. And it's not just, I'm going to show up and try to lift heavier, because you're going to lead to injury and you're going to lead to hating your workout, and you're going to be doing it for all the wrong reasons. The second thing under training I want to talk to you about is training for a single goal. Write that down in your journal. A single goal is the reason you should be training. Now, how many people out there want everything at once, right? You want to get in the best shape you can. You want to lose fat. You want to build muscle. You want to train for a marathon. You want to do an obstacle course. You're trying to figure out this coolest new thing you saw in CrossFit. You're trying to do an aerobics class. If you're chasing all those things, your body is so confused. It's like me saying to you, we're going to do all 10 weeks in one day, and we're going to overload you with a bunch of different information signals coming at you from all directions. You're going to find that that is not sustainable. It's going to overwhelm you, and you're probably going to quit. That's what your body wants to do when you're trying to train for everything at once. So pick one thing that you're training for and focus on that thing in your phase or in your program that you're working on, and let that one thing be the outcome you're looking for. There's a funny saying, and I wrote it down here. If you only have one ass, you can't sit on two horses. Okay. That's funny because obviously you can't physically do that. But why do you think that you can physically chase two different horses or three different horses? And again, if you're only working on that one thing, you've only got that one ass, you can't sit on two things, right? So that's the objective. And that's why that saying is kind of funny. But here's the thing. At the end of the day, you got to focus on what is it you want. Are you actually trying to lose body fat as your priority? Then let's get focused on body fat in your program, in your training, and focus on that one thing. If you feel you're under muscled or you need to build more muscle tissue and that's your priority, then focus on that. Put your training and your programming into that. I promise you, no matter what you're at, beginner, intermediate, or advanced, you've got to do this. You've got to get your focus on one item, one element, move towards that element. And then you'll find once you've improved that, you're able to come back to the center, regroup, and then move towards another element. You're not going to just become a master of one thing and lose everything else. You're going to revisit those things too. Okay. And I talk about this in my coaching programs when I use the triangle analogy, giving you an idea of which triangle point you're moving towards, and living in the middle is ideal with a little bit of everything. But to be that jack of all trades in the middle isn't going to get you the result you're looking for. Most often you're chasing one of these elements that are in the far reach corners of the triangle. You've got to dive into that for one training program. So again, this is to give you training advice. You want to get to whatever you're focusing on, whether it's fat burning or muscle building or cardiovascular endurance, performance training as an athlete. Dive into that mode and focus on that. That's where your training should be focused. Okay. So if you want to, get the smallest amount of results over a long period of time, great. Go and chase everything at once. But if you really want to get maximum results fast and in a focused element, you're going to want to do it by focusing on one element. Marking that down and starting to get structured programming around that is going to change the game for you, I promise. That is a pillar of success. Training has to be focused. So those are your training elements, okay? You need to have a program. You need to train for a single goal, and you need challenge in the program for you to see progressive overload. This is going to change the game for you, all right? And the final one is sleep, the pillar that you're going to need for recovery. If you're doing all the work, you're training, you're doing all the work, you're keeping the nutrition in check, you've got all these good things happening, you also have to remember the body needs time to regroup, repair, recover. That is when you sleep. So here are my tips. Write these ones down for yourself. You're not going to want to miss out on these. Sleep is often overlooked, but it can be and will be your absolute game changer. Adequate sleep, these are bullet points. If you're finding you're someone who has imbalance in your hormones, sleep is the answer. Optimizing hormones is what sleep will do for you. Giving you energy to get through the day. If you're someone who's crashing mid-afternoon, sleep is going to be the answer. Helping to recover quicker. If you're someone who's sore all the time from every workout, sleep is going to be the answer. Improving performance and cognitive function. So if you're someone who's at work and you're finding that your brain fog, or maybe you're a parent and you're dealing with brain fog, you notice every time you try to focus, your brain fog is there, your cognitive decline is happening. You're starting to forget things on a regular basis, daily. Check it out. Sleep is the answer. You've got to get the rest and repair and recovery. Know that when you sleep, it runs cycles for healing. And we cover all this in our training programs as well. Making sure you know that sleep is a priority, because that's where you're going to get your improving performance and cognitive function. Here's another one. To make better decisions about food. Have you ever noticed that when you're tired, you're groggy, you just crave all the worst things? You're constantly looking for a quick fix. You're not really motivated to cook anything. So you're constantly making poor food choices. Sleep is the answer. Okay? Get to sleep, get recovered, get energized, and you'll make better choices, guaranteed. Sleep is the answer. Do your best to get to bed by 10:30 to 11 o'clock at night. These are optimal shutdown times. And remember, there's some tips to get good sleep, because I know some of you probably watching this video find that you have a hard time sleeping. Maybe you don't get good sleep. You get a lot of interrupted sleep, or you don't get sleep at all and you really have a hard time shutting down. There are some things we cover in our programs that really dive into you, specifically your environment and your circumstance. But generalized today for free, I'm going to give you this. Tips for getting a good night's sleep. First of all, your bed that you sleep on should be of good quality. Okay? I've marked this down. You spend a third of your life in bed, resting and repairing. So spend the money for that portion of your life on a good quality bed. The quality does matter. A good new mattress. Maybe you got a good bed, but it's been 3, 4, 5 years old. I don't know. And if you talk to someone who works in a mattress factory, or a specialist in bed and sleep, you're going to find that they're telling you to replace that mattress more frequently. And because there's a cost associated, we try to put that off. But at the end of the day, a good quality sleep trumps everything. So keep that in mind. Number 2, black out your room. Okay, you might use blackout curtains for this, but you need a dark space to sleep in. Think about that. You're going into the nighttime. You want it to be dark. You want to send a signal to your eyes, to your brain, that it is nighttime. It's time to shut down. Let your body do what it's supposed to do when it realizes it's dark and it's nighttime. Get yourself into a dark room. Okay. The next thing, number 3, is noise proof as much as possible. Noise proof. You don't want distractions and things that are going to keep you up. So some people sleep with earplugs. Some people are comfortable with that. Other people, they just take all the room, and then they might turn off all devices and things like that make noise. They might have fans in the summertime to keep them cool or whatever it is, but they might have to find a different fan that isn't so loud because the noise is keeping you up. So just try to make your room a little bit more noise proof. Okay. And then turn off all electronics. Electronics about 60 to 90 minutes before bed. You're trying to shut down the light to the eyes signal. Okay, because electronics give off light. And we are all victims now to the new world we live in, technology with cell phones and laptops and tablets. If you're sitting in bed scrolling Facebook, trying to fall asleep, a lot of times that is holding it up. It's causing you to stay up longer than you needed to. It's giving you a harder time to shut down. So don't make it harder for yourself. Take the phone, take the screen time, and bring it back about 60 minutes to 90 minutes before bed and shut it down. Maybe instead substitute it by reading a book or doing something that you can do, like journaling with a pen and paper. Something that doesn't involve such a bright light directly into your eyes will help you to get shutdown time. Okay, so keep those tips in mind. Sleep is going to be adequate. It's going to be the most important thing you're going to need. So today we cover 3 of the most important things, the pillars that are going to guide you through to get a good result. If you're chasing fat loss, muscle building, or even just flexibility, longevity, quality health, and nutrition, you have to set yourself up for success. Training, nutrition, and of course, sleep for rest and recovery. So now let's finalize this by saying, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe. We are going to have another one, week 3 coming up next, out of our 10-part free series of training and coaching. I want to bring you the best information I can in a way that you're going to be able to apply it. Remember, you have to apply the information or it doesn't work. Okay. Knowledge isn't going to do it. It's action over information. Okay. Implementation beats information. That's what we have to focus on. So, your key points and your takeaways for today. Here we go. Number one, nutrition, training, and sleep are the most important elements of your successful program. Products that promise short term results often don't last long term. So don't be chasing quick fix. Mark that down as I do not chase quick fixes any longer. Make yourself an identity with I am not looking for a quick fix. I'm looking for a sustainable long term result. Optimize nutrition. Here's what you're going to do. This week, your homework in the next 7 days is to eat single ingredient foods most of the time. So I'm going to say let's just say 80% of the time, single ingredient foods. Try to focus on that whole food. And I guarantee you're going to lose body fat this week just by making that one change. Okay. And so if you are going to notice any changes, you might want to find a way to measure those changes, whether it's a measuring tape or a scale that can analyze body fat or whatever it is. Find a way, maybe even take a picture and get a photo of yourself and then take a look at that photo 7 days from now. See if you see some changes. It's really going to be important because changes are going to happen. I guarantee it. I've seen it over and over again when you implement this information. So optimize nutrition with single ingredient foods this week. That's your homework. For training, I want you to train for a single goal. So if you've been training for a little bit of everything at once, this week, dial in on one specific thing. I want to get stronger, let's just say. And you're going to look for progressive overload, opportunity to get stronger, and track that. Write it down, journal it. And finally, the last one, in your sleep pillar, I want you to do this. Do your best to go to bed by 10:30 or 11 o'clock in the evening each night. Now, if you're already doing that, go to the practice tips that I gave you and try to improve on one of those, making sure that you've either changed your mattress and got a better bed, you've blacked out the room, which you've never tried before, maybe make it darker. If you have to turn off noise and signals that might be affecting, try that this week. And if not, turn off your electronics sooner and start reading a book or journaling or just simply meditate, breathe, maybe listen to a podcast, do whatever you need to do that stimulates or however you want, but not stimulating the eyes with light. That's going to help you out big time and optimize your sleep that way. So those are your homework points. I want you guys to give that a shot. And then I will see you in 7 days to find out how you did with your homework. So this is week 2 of our 10-week free training and coaching that you're going to get here. It's been great. Thank you guys for joining me today. And I will see you in 7 days.